are you? This is The Morning Drift. My name is Anki Doris Ombat, and I'd love to once again appreciate you for streaming live on our social media platforms. Those who are rallying by tweeting and retweeting, thank you very much for getting the word out there. We are live from Nairobi, and of course, all about concerns of Wananchi. And that includes you back at home, you at work, and myself in studio, my panelists included. I want to welcome you to the big conversation today, and I want to ask you, in a very objective manner, will you vote come 2022? You're watching, you're a housewife, you are a new mom, you are a father, you have just lost your job probably, or you have just gotten a new job, but you're going around errands this morning. Will you vote? Will you vote? If you vote, let me know why you are taking this. If you have actually registered as a voter, why you didn't think it's a good idea? What pushed you to that level? If you will not vote, please share with us this morning why you don't think it is your democratic right, or you're letting go of that right to actually vote. We are live on Facebook, but for now, gentlemen, it's good to see you on set.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to an amazing discussion that will be solution-driven. Ultimately, we want to understand where we stand as a country, even as we gear towards 2022.
Absolutely.
A lot of stories make headlines, including this morning, on what Oka is doing, what Raila Odinga is doing, what Ruto is doing in his campaigns. And, you know, the CJ mentioned once in a while being, you know, into the political scene. It's been, you know, a lot going on in the political scene, but we talked about the voter, you know, and we want to understand, will they vote? As we have campaigns going on, are the Kenyans going to vote? So I want to introduce you, Mr. Eliud Nalimai, right here next to me, my immediate left. He's a political commentator. Sir, karibu sana.
Thank you.
We also have Maoka Kibet, who is, he refers to him as an ODM youth leader.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
The fact that you're young people in this country,
Right.
with a majority, would love from you. Now, I want to start with your general view of the political scene today. All right, we're going to 2022, probably the August, but December, and we're seeing what's going on in the political scene. Just a short remark to begin with Mr. Nalimai.
What you've said that we are young, and indeed we're young, and the young people are going to change this country. We cannot afford to sit back and watch some people messing up the country. And I think we have been having a problem that young people think that they are not of age to participate in their democratic, in their civic life and participate in the country's democracy, because they feel like I just have to wait. But today, I think I want to tell the young people that you are the one going to change this country, and you're not too young to lead, and you just have to start where you can, and no one will give you that leadership that you are a leader of tomorrow. I don't think they should associate themselves with such words that they are tomorrow. They need to wake up, they need to roll up their sleeves and get to work and ensure that the country is moving to the right trajectory. Because if we cannot do that, we will continue being messed in a messed country by those political elites who do not see any good for us. They're just there for their own personal gain, which is really something that is affecting this country.
All right.
And as we can see, we are in a crisis, democratic crisis right now. You see, there's a populist protest. People are demonstrating. People, you know, they are dissatisfied. They're expressing their dissatisfaction,
yes.
and you know, grievances, which are legitimate grievances. But moving forward, are these grievances being addressed by these political elites and governing elites? The question is no. And I think that is going to be the basis on which people are going to vote.
All right.
Because there are legitimate grievances, but people don't seem to address the elites whom we've trusted with power for quite some time. They don't seem to find a solution. They have been there. And I think this time young people are going to change, and they will associate with those people who speak the language that resembles or, you know, they can associate with. They are not going to allow the leaders who will speak in a patronage voice that
Okay.
I come with a patronaging voice to you people without even giving you chance. We need to talk to each other. We need to talk to the youth and with the youth so that we can find a solution, because people are complaining about job.
Yes.
Young people are complaining about job. Young people are complaining about security. We have seen people being killed. We are not free now.
All
Country, you can be taken away, missing, then we find your body somewhere. So we have a problem. People are complaining about economy. It is harsh.
All right.
Yeah. So which solution are you providing? And it's not about even economy and security. It's about morality. Where are you taking the country?
All right.
That is the issues that we need to engage in to find a good leader.
All right, and I like your opening remarks. You just brought us to speed on why we are having this discussion today. Who are the leaders we're having tomorrow? Do they have solutions? Our ODM leader today, just let us know, youth leader, your opening remarks.
My opening remark is suffrage or franchise is a right for youth to participate in general election in the whole world. And on that matter, when you are telling us about the creation in the market, right now we were promised by the Kamarini leader in 2017 that we will create 1 million jobs in 2017. Just briefcase jobs which were promised. 2022, same guy is promising us 4 million of jobs creation, which will not be achievable. So whatever, it is not for us if it is not against us. And if you look at what the manifesto, the political parties, and what promised us 2022 general, the youths will be invited on the table, not on the menu. We'll sit on the round table making discussion. And Baba, on that matter,
I think we are losing the trajectory. I think we are now discussing Baba when we are discussing issues.
Talk about what to expect, which political leaders are doing, but we're not really specific to which party or which political.
I think you should organize a rally to campaign for Baba.
I'm not organizing a rally to campaign for Baba,
we will allow him
for the love.
We will do the love, but first let's talk to you first as a person.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
So, as you are approaching the general election, you have been defranchised that many youths have been brought back to political handouts. And that's why I've experienced low turnout in the general election. In 2017, there were high turnout of youth registration in the whole world, in the country, in the nation. And come 2022, we are anticipating from the IBC that youths will be amounting around 4 million of youths who will register as voters. But if you look right now, there are almost 1.4 million. So that speaks a lot in the country, that youths have given up to participate, the right to participate in the general election. That's it.
All right. So what we're seeing here is a low turnout in registration from the youth.
Yeah, true.
But of course, this question goes out to the men and women alike, youth and older and elderly. Will you vote? All right. Now I want to talk about the credibility. The process of the credibility. Now, a lot of Kenyans have come out to say, well, we want this disbanded, and that's the electoral, body, or we want this person out. That has happened over the years. Do Kenyans have a concern when it comes to the electoral process as we stand at this point in time?
What has been there, people have always been questioning about the electoral process. But my main concern is not even the approach. It's about the approach, the way they approach this issue. The problem is that this issue of winner and loser.
Okay.
So no one wants to be associated with the losing. Everyone wants to be associated with winning. And it has been rooted in our culture. So we find that we are doing anything to ensure that we win. I'll try to go to a Trigen, but I think to connect the point, if it happens that, there are big schools that, you need national schools. I'll use national schools that you need to have scored these kind of marks before you join, and they are placing that as merit. Then if I don't meet, but we have a slot for, those players with talents to join the campus, you realize that it is not fair ground. So in an equal society, we can't base our issues with winning or losing. Because if we are winning or losing, we are going to do anything to ensure that I get it, I win. And when I win, I look down to those people who have lost and no one wants to be associated with. So they can always do anything they want. Is it this? There's someone called Singer who say that, their front door, you either you just have to get it in your own ways. So that is what they are doing. They have to get their front doors in any ways. So that is a problem. But if we can have a society which is based on equality and not
Tribalism?
Meritocracy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can have a good society because with merits it has made the country. People are doing anything to ensure. And now to your point now, to your question, previously or recently I've had the people who are leaders claiming that when you have the system, it doesn't matter how voters will decide. And you see that kind of sentiments, it impugns the credibility of the IEBC. Then we ask ourselves, on which basis is IEBC going to announce the winner of the day, or the person who is going to form the government, or the party which is going to constitute the government? So that is a question. If you see the stakeholders, people who've been there, I had Francis Kimemia, is a governor, I think Nyandarua Ward, who came out and said that, it doesn't matter about the voters. There is another influence that will inform the kind of leaders will be elected or announced in this country. So with kind of sentiments, we are saying that, democracy is not there, that the of people will not be respected. And some people feel, okay, fine, if I'm not on the other side, it means I won't have the day. So what I'll do, I'll ensure that we dismantle these IEBC, then they go home. But it's safe in such a period of time that we have to dismantle. How are we going to reconstitute another body that will oversight the election fairly with the limited time that they have? How are they going to mobilize resources and have the human resources in place to ensure that they are credible? Because if you are going to appoint the office bearers in this IEBC, you need to follow the due process as provided by the Constitution. Then you are not going to meet the threshold within this period of time. And I think there was a report about injustices. I think when you want to do away with a political, with a electoral body, you cannot do within certain period of time when you are approaching the election. I think it is something that should have been done earlier. But what is the real issue? Because IEBC, their work is to convey the results as the voters have been voting throughout the country. Where are we missing? Who is influencing this? Why is IEBC not willing to be transparent? Why are you not opening the servers? Those are the questions that will inform some people who feel that they will lose and they don't want to be losers to come and say that we are dissatisfied with the IEBC. We cannot allow it to hold our election. And the process, the procurement process is flaunted because these people, we cannot trust them. That is then we are saying that we expect some uncomfortability and some issues will arise out of the election, which will drain this country.
I think what you're drawing your remarks from is from the past electioneering periods we have had.
Yeah,
and I don't know what your comments are on the same thing. Are Kenyans now mistrusting the body that should be overseeing the elections, and is this a reason why some people are choosing not to be involved in voting? What are your sentiments from where you sit?
The problem is, if you look at the winners take all, the mentality in Kenya, a lot of people think that the system sometimes can bring on their people who will rule the next government. And on that matter, we want free and credible election to people on Kenya. And in 2017, the Supreme Court said that we need to open the servers, of which it has not been up to now. Right now, there's a case in the High Court that we need to open the servers. The Chebukati need to open the servers, and on that,
I think a point of information, the Supreme Court has pronounced itself that IBC should, I think it was yesterday or the other day, that IBC should immediately open the servers. So it has been, addressed.
it has been addressed.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So you can continue.
I don't have any mark to add on that.
All right, so that, according to you, you feel Kenyans should then still trust the process, because that's what we wanted to hear from you.
Yeah.
All right. So there's another situation that's in the country right now of youth saying, why would we vote you in? I remember when the Jubilee government took over, they said that the digital team, they were moving from the analog, and it was for the young people. All right, now we're looking 10 years down the line, is it?
Yes.
Yes, because it was the first time and the second time, and Kenyans are asking, or the youth rather have been rallying around saying, kazi kwa vijana, pesa kwa wazee. So what do you have to say about this? Because the point we are seeing, in the presidential race right now also, so far you can correct me if there is a younger person or a youth who is, who has been put out by the survey and the polls to be top 3 or among the big wigs.
No, not really. I don't have the number that, or the data that there is a young person who has been paraded and or has been rallied behind to go for the presidential seat and is gaining any popularity. And I won't expect that, because we don't seem to trust our young people with the affairs of this country. Yeah, we only get the second-hand positions, which they feel like it is good for the youth, but we want to parade the old. But moving forward, I think to address your question and your concern is that the young people, whom are they looking for? What are they looking for? Which kind of government are we going to vote in? And I think I'll refer you back to the 2002 moment. You see, the reason why the former president Mwai Kibaki won the election is that he promised the well-being of the well springs of anxiety, and there was. Also legitimate grievances by the Kenyans. So he stood on those grounds and he won, because the government of the day at that time didn't have any answer, a legitimate answer to that context. And that is how he won. And I can also compare some notes with the United States of America.
Right.
When in 2016, when Donald Trump won that election, I think it was a verdict out of anger, because people have been dissatisfied with the regime of mainstream parties, and they feel that the mainstream parties are not addressing the legitimate issues and concerns by the people, and that is why they lose. And when another party comes in promising those well springs of anxiety, and which are these well springs of anxiety?
All right.
People want to hear, what are you going to do about security? They know that insecurity is really everywhere. It has affect this country. People are being killed day in, day out. What are you going to do, the government? About job creation, what are you going to do? Which plans do you have? Are you the kind of leader, when we elect you, are going to focus on the GDP to ensure that the GDP of the country is growing? But what are the real issues? You are focusing on the GDP of the country, but poor people in the slums are, sleeping without anything on the table. They are not. They're sleeping angry. What are you going to do? People in the northern counties, they have been affected by the drought.
Yeah.
Their kettles are dying. What are you going to do to ensure that you bring water? About job creation, about the small businesses, what are you going to do to ensure that they remain in operation and they employ many people? What about tax regime? Are you going to lock out investors because of the high tax regime? Those are the legitimate issues that we are asking. And about the salary, are you going to pay people the salary that will reflect to their work that they are doing to changing this country? So those are the issues that people want to hear. If you do that, no one will have a problem with you, because that is what Kenyans need. Young people are suffering. And you see, I can assure you, millions of Kenyans, young people outside there, they are jobless. And
Absolutely.
you see, when you remain out of job for quite some time, you lose focus. And you see some people going to the village, associating themselves with these, local brews, and they lose their focus in life.
Very, very, very young people, for that matter.
Yes, because they have lost focus because the government has not put in place measures to ensure that their future is guaranteed. That when you leave university walls, there is a place where you can start. When there is no job, you can start a small business.
I actually like that, because yesterday we were talking about the education of Kenya, the coast versus the quality, and we had a student leader on set, and I asked him where he sees himself after graduating. And I will allow you to talk again, because I'm going to allow him to speak now. And he said, really, nothing much. He doesn't see himself getting employed, but going out there, putting his papers aside and hustling. Do you agree with the sentiments that these are things Kenyans need to hear for them to actually be in the exercise, the voting exercise? That they are well-being is not really catered for as they should be?
For example, if I look at Kazi Mtaani, which was initiated by our president the other time, it created jobs for 1 million youths in Kenya. But it did not address all of them, right? Because you can find a person who is a graduate coming to do the Kazi Mtaani initiative. And if you look at the security of our nation right now, in West Pokot, there have been a lot of bandits who are attacking the farmers, not the farmers, but the others, the locals in the West Pokot. If you look at the northern part of the Kenya, we have experienced drought. If you look at, because it has not been able to achieve, because the government right now is coming from that COVID era where everybody were locked out of the country, and it could not be addressed as a matter of urgency. And what was addressed was the health of the country. The health of the country, it was addressed by the people getting the COVID jab, which the government has pumped out of money for people to get the vaccines. And if you look at also the vaccines in Kenya, there have been low turnout of people who have gone for the jab. So if you are going back to if you are Kenyans youth, there are those people who wants to be enticed, to be promised something that this is on the table, not on the menu. This is what you'll get. This is an equal percentage of the share you'll get on the next government. That's what you are looking when you are in the coming general election. Who will address us? Who will look at our points? And that's it.
All right.
But if I can, yes,
because I want to read a comment here.
Yes, he has spoken about Kazi Mtaani.
Yes.
I think that kind of initiative, it is a good idea, but it is not a long-term idea. Can you put in place a system which will ensure that these young people is ensured of his future? not just a 2 month or 1 year program. Then these people, well, you will employ them for Kazi Mtaani for 6 months. Then after that, what next? These people are going back to their life.
When you are talking about a 1 year program,
let me finish.
Okay.
Yes, you employ me for 1 year. I work for, I'm in this Kazi Mtaani. 1 year, the contract lapses or the program ends. What next for this young man? Is there continuity?
Sustainability.
So that this young person, you see, you are ensured about the future, and that the system is in place so that, you can't just go there one day. I think we must be alive to these issues. Assuming now you've been employed for 1 year, then you lose job, then you have responsibilities that you are dealing with. What next? Frustration will finish.
Let's hear from him.
Apart from Kazi Mtaani, what the government of Kenya has done is, if you look at the KDF, the GSU, those other government bodies, there have been high percentage of people who have been who have been employed in the government. It has not addressed all of the people, but if you look at the Big Four agenda, which the government had initiated earlier about the housing projects in Kenya, there are almost 500 units which are being built in Kenya right now, and that it has created jobs for the youth, and it has reduced crime rates here in Nairobi, and also the Kazi Mtaani initiative, it has reduced crime rates here in Kenya. That's it.
All right, as we continue, the question today I'm asking you as you're watching back at home is, will you vote? The gentlemen here are sharing some very, deep sentiments of why youth, especially the youth in Kenya and Kenyans at large, are probably not considering the voting come 2022. Now, Blessed Dan says, thank you very much for keeping it right here on The Big Conversation. I tell you, that day I won't vote. I better spread a road safety awareness, all right? Sesmo Time says, every time the youth cry about creation of employment, do you think there will be peace and security coming the general elections with the government and the youth? Someone is asking if we are always, year in, year out, talking about the same things, youth employment versus the government. Do you think, therefore, there will be a peaceful election?
First, I'll respond to the first question or the first comment.
Yes.
When he says that I will not be voting. I think that is, I miss a word to replace, but that is not fair. You need to participate. You cannot wish for change when you're not participating in that process of achieving that change that you desire, because you must be part of it. Yes, you might have been failed by the previous regimes, previous government. Moving forward, what do you do? Where are you? Are you participating? Are you demonstrating when you feel that the government is not working in the, addressing your concerns?
Yes.
Are you picketing? Are you putting this government to pressure? Sometimes young people, I think there's this kind of ignorance, political ignorance. We need to come out and we need to work together, because the problem is I just want to work alone, or I want to work with some people, then I leave behind some people. But I think if you want to change something, I think you need to work together. And there are many good people, activists around, civil rights groups that will enable you young people to change the course of leadership in this country. So what you need to do is to come up. When you come up, you can move ideas and agendas that will shame the government of the day, that they are not working. Then you can send them home. Yeah. So, but if just saying that you won't vote is not a solution. Are you providing a solution? Are you approving of what is happening to continue just because it was not done in the right way? So you don't care, I don't have anything to do, or if I care, I don't mind at all. Let it happen. Is that the kind of society we are building? And if that is the kind of society we are building right now, what about the youth engagement in 10 years to come? It means everyone will be shunning away from politics.
From voting, yeah.
And if we shun away from politics, whom are we leaving these political arenas to? We are going to be recycling these political allies and their children and children,
yes,
so that they cycle continues, and that these other people who feel that they are not part of it, they will continue sitting behind. I think that is not a conversation we should be having.
All right, so that's what you're saying is no matter what happens, the power of the government is with the people. So it's important that we vote. I want to touch on the people we want to re-elect. We have seen them be part of the government. Yeah, all right. If you follow closely, you see most of the people who want to be our presidents today have been either in cabinets or in positions of leadership. And Kenyans are asking, why then? Why then should we trust them with another, leadership position, or trust that they will do things differently? I don't know what you have to say about that.
If you look, I can also borrow my notes from Zambia. We had a current president who is Halaike, who was elected recently. The youths came out and said that we don't want we don't want corruption in the country. We want jobs. We want security. And they come out in large numbers and they voted for their new president. The same was coming to Kenya here right today. Okay. I'm anticipating that in the next year general election, there will be 90% of voters turn out, we as youth, because we are the 56% of this country. And
very true.
And if you are coming up with, first of all, you have to look who will address us. Okay. And who has us in heart. We don't want a country where it's being run by thugs. We don't want a country where people are being given things to ride on. The 16th century tool to ride on it in the name of kazi ni kazi. No, we don't want that kind of work to be imposed in our youth. So what you need to know is, we as youth, we need to come out. We need to say no is no, and this is the footstep we are following on, and this is the kind of the leader we are going to elect in the coming general election.
All right.
I think on the same point, I just need to make something clear. You see, my friend here, he seems to be moving away from the reality. He started with a well analysis that, in Zambia, this happened. And I think the president, the elected president in Zambia, appealed to the young people. He came with an agenda that resonated well with the young people, and he promised them job, which means he addressed the legitimate concerns that the young people had. Right. And I think that is the trajectory this country is headed to, because these young people, they want agenda that resonates well with them. But you see, just saying that the way he has concluded that, there are some people coming with ideas that will not resonate well with the people. The question ought to be, these young people have been in this country since independence, even way before independence. What are we doing to change their life? What are we doing to put them in a position? And I think the youth disengagement with politics has happened because there is no consistent engagement of youths. They are not being given substantial roles to play in the government. They are not being allowed to sit on the table of leadership of this country.
We have him here who is a leader of the youth. Do you sit on those tables?
I sit on the table, right? But
when we say you sit on the table, you can go anywhere, sit on with those you call leaders of the day. But we want to say, what issues have you moved for the youth's concern?
And that's the
have
question.
You influenced any change? Have you influenced any development? Have you influenced any agenda that speaks for the youths and it has gone through successfully? That you say, leaders, youths, we have been given a room or a chair on the table of on the table of leadership, so that you effectively and substantially move the ideas or the issues affecting the youths to the authority.
All right, Mr. Najimaye, thank you for that. That challenge is to you now as we close. What have you done on that table?
What we have done and what the government has done is that
the government
what you've done. What we have done is to show that youths have been given
we have championed.
In which way?
I think we should give you time to explain what he's done.
Because recently in Kenya, when you are applying for a job with the youth, some of us we are being told, come with EACC certificate, come with all those chapter 6 of the constitution being on the table. Right now, there's a bill which has been passed by the parliament that you don't have to come with the chapter 6 of the constitution for you to be employed. No. So the people who will give you the job first, they will give you the job, and after 2 to 3 months, you will pay. You will come with those chapter 6 of the constitution. That's it. And what also we are asking the next president in Kenya that if you see our party leader has promised us that he'll create a Ministry of Youth Affairs, where all the youths in Kenya will be championed and will be listened to, will sit on the table, not on the menu.
I think that is a retrogressive kind of thinking, because in Kenya we don't have shortage of this youth commission, youth whatever ministry. We have the ICT, which is with the Minister of Youths by Joe Musheru. You know, that is not the problem. The problem is the system, and setting the system straight so that we can have these young people on the table, so that we don't have this issue of ageism. Ageism is really affecting us. Young person has finished campus, is fresh, then you ask them 10 years of experience, what are you doing? That kind of system we want to. Then you have an MCA who just have a high school certificate. Are we really addressing these issues? The issues of merit. We need to do with these issues of merit. And allow me to draw you to this example. Yes, to draw you to this example. You know, I've been battling with these issues of merit because it is not doing us good. For example, during this pandemic, when we had a lockdown, I mean, who are these people that seem to be essential workers? Is their paycheck reflect on what they are doing? Are they being considered? Do they have job dignity? Yeah. So if we can have that kind of conversation, then we are saying this kind of merit is affecting us, because you want me to have masters to have this starting job. You know, it is not making sense. You want me to have 3 years experience, and I've finished campus, and I need to pay the higher educational loan board. So what do you expect? I think the system is wrong.
So you feel we should vote out the system?
I think we should set up a good system, and someone will come with a good idea on changing the system and putting the system in place, so that it doesn't matter who is on that seat. When the system is working well, we don't need someone who will, if you don't do it, you go away, you leave, the system is working.
You have something to say on the system, because the system has existed, and we're seeing people who worked with that system still vying. All right. What he's talking about is pretty much, what we see. What are your sentiments? He's touched on merit and ageism, and now he's talking about the system. Just as we wrap up, what are your sentiments?
If you talk about ageism, old is gold. And we are the people of Kenya.
No, let him talk.
We as the youth of Kenya, we always feel that.
I think he has misunderstood me. I'm talking of ageism in terms of, young man who is going to apply for job is being requested to come with a 3 years experience or 5 years. That is the kind of ageism I'm talking about, not about age of someone who is vying for some position.
All right, sir. Now that is clear. So we'll pick up from there.
Oh, the system. I think it's very bad for people of Kenya, because if you are coming right away from, you are fresh in the job in the market, and you have come to apply for a job, and they're telling you that we are giving you 3 years of experience. You want 3 years of experience. I want you to show us that the last 3 years what you have been doing to reach up to this certain level. I think that's very bad in this country, and the person the leader who will elect next time, I think will have
should change the system.
Should change the system of how
people
are being employed in Kenya.
Here.
Yeah. So moving forward, what I'm anticipating is that the youths of Kenya will come out in large numbers. People will vote their leaders. I think we'll have a very peaceful and democratic election coming next year. And also, what I'm going to add is that let's be brothers keepers and be peaceful always.
All right.
And let's be patient with each other. Let us allow divergent opinions so that we can better the country. Let us agree to disagree, but on a good note, so that we can discuss and have a conversation to come up with a good government. But if we just want to monopolize wisdom so that for us or leadership that it must be us, then we are not having a democratic discussion. We need to allow everyone to bring their agenda on the table. We assess. Let's not have fixed mind that I must vote for this person. Why are you voting for him? What is he going to do for you? You know, let us be willing to change. If we find someone that has an agenda that resonates well with us, let us go there. Because the problem is that, and with the young people, they just want to follow someone because he can talk to them, but he's not giving them an opportunity to be part of the government or the leadership. Let us be flexible in our mind so that we engage and find a good leader. Because I can see people, you know, when we are nearing the election, I don't know what happens in this country. People turn to be animals. Yeah, they don't care about human value. Which is true. They want to kill each other for no good reason, and they cannot substantiate the reason why they are doing that, because they have someone in heart. They don't want to change. They don't want to listen to the ideas being expressed by these leaders, those seeking office. So let us be flexible. Let us engage each and every person, see what they can do for this country, and if it resonates well with us and it is for the betterment of this country, let us vote them. If they are going to increase salary, people, we need to have a cash flow. If they are going to create jobs so that people can also, take care of their bills, because, Kenyans are willing to pay tax.
Yes.
If you come with the issue, you're going to reduce tax or tax holiday, it's not going to work. Give these people job. They will pay tax because they are earning. Let them flourish in their business. They will pay tax.
All right.
Give them security. They will go out and work the night. Kenyans are very hardworking. Just give them a ground, a safe ground for them to do their business and them to work. They will get things done and we'll have a good country.
All right. Now, what I have picked from you, gentlemen, is that what we stand here to say is that Kenyans should come out and vote.
Which is true, absolutely.
They
and
have to.
On merit.
Absolutely.
All right. So the aspect of youth saying we have disengaged ourselves from politics is not very positive. And we're saying on the big conversation from the young men who are also leaders in their own capacity that it is in your power to change the system.
Yes, the course of this country, politics of this country. It is the young people. If you don't change, who will change for you?
All right.
And it doesn't matter about your age. Come out. Effect that change that you feel needs to be, exhibited. If you don't do that, and no one is young to make change, even if you are 2 years old, 3 years old, just, do in your capacity what you can to change. So that, change starts with the young generation. You can't start with the old because they are used to the system. So start with the young to change.
I know you don't agree with certain things, but I like that you said we can disagree to agree. Whatever it is that your sentiments are, thank you very much for sharing them with me and the team on voting. So have you already voted? Are you a registered voter as we speak? Why haven't you registered, all right? Why are you not voting, or why are you voting is the question we're asking today. Thank you for your feedback, Dan and Sesmo, and the rest of you who are probably silently watching because you don't want us to know that you will not vote. But we are looking forward to a very peaceful electioneering period and peaceful and fair elections come 2022. We continue to discuss this and have the conversation going on #TheMorningDrift. However, I want to release you, gentlemen. Come again. And these conversations, like we say, they do not end because it is our voice that actually will cause the change. Asante for your time.
Thank you.
All right, now coming after this is the ground moments where we come mtaani and we hear what you have to say on the ground. So if you didn't get a chance to be in studio with me, I am still with you hapo mtaani. Now for now, let's just take that short breather. We'll be right back with more. But nini inafanyika kwa ground? Vitu ni different.